YouTube Analytics tells me that between the Cadence Ideal and Cadence Elate reviews that I did over the winter, I gained a grand total of 4 subs. This video is for those 4 people. I'm just kidding, of course. Each one of those videos has a few hundred hits. I felt a little bit compelled to make an update because there is one major inaccuracy in the specifications that I stated, and also a bit of a problem with both of these reels. I'm going to show you from home exactly what's going on, and then we'll come back here for my final impressions of both. This is hilarious. Every time I try to film something out here, Gary starts up his lawnmower. Alright, let's do away with the weight thing real quickly. Cadence's website says the Elate 1000 weighs 6.7 ounces. And this is clearly spooled up, so it's going to weigh a little more. 7.2. Now I doubt there's half an ounce of line on there, but okay, that's fair. So 6.7 becomes 7.2. So I expect the other one to be about half an ounce more. So they say the 2000 is 6.9 ounces. So we got 8.8. So if we assume there's half an ounce of line on there, 8.3. So 6.9 to 8.3. That is a pretty remarkable difference between what they report and what it actually is. Get this out of here. Alright, so here we have 2 Cadence Ideal 1000s. One of them has a working drag clicker. This one is where the drag clicker has failed. So let's get in these things and see what's going on. Okay, this isn't going to be the easiest thing in the world to see, so let's give it a shot. This is one that is fully operational and works. This right here is the clicker itself, and it's really difficult to see, but it's basically just a tab that is not really mobile. It's got a little bit of play in it that just rubs against this star washer, so to speak, to make the clicking sound. This one here is broken. The actual tab, half of it's just snapped off. So this is the drag clicker that they use in both the Ideal and the Elate. Let's show you the other design that they use. Okay, so this is a CS5, and on this one, drag clicker is a lot more robust. This is it right here. You can see how it rocks back and forth off of this spring, and as this rocks back and forth, your sound is created as it comes across this wheel here that's got notches evenly spaced. So the clicker goes across that and it just works a lot better. This is a much more robust drag clicker system. This part comes in the Lux, the CS4, the CS5, and I believe everything above. So what it boils down to is that tiny little piece just breaks off. I've had this happen twice, but I've got 3 of these reels, and 2 of the reels this hasn't happened. So they might have just had a bad manufacturing batch, but I don't really know for sure. Alright, with all that said, everything's got to be taken with a grain of salt. We're talking about the Ideal, which basically runs for about $25, and the Elate that retails for $50, but you can generally get it for $35-40 on Amazon. Amazon is Cadence's primary retailer, And after watching the prices of both of those reels for about a year now, that's pretty much the deal. You're going to pay about 25 bucks for an Ideal, about 40 bucks for an Elate. The spec inaccuracy for the Ideal on the website, as far as the weight is concerned, they really should correct that. As far as the drag clicker issue goes, is it a big deal? I don't know. It depends on what you're going for. You have to bear in mind that I use both of these reels quite a bit. Each one of the Ideal reels that I was using regularly got absolutely hammered on. Daily drivers used it at least 50 days a piece, and it was cast after cast after cast after cast. So whether or not this is a huge problem is kind of subjective. I kind of feel like if you're going to pay 25 bucks for a reel, if this is the only issue, it may not be that big of a deal to you. For me, it's a little bit disconcerting to have line ripping off of your reel and hear nothing but the braid. Like, you kind of want to hear that click, at least I do. But on a $25 reel, is it that big of a deal? Probably not. However, on a $40 reel, such as the Elate, which has the exact same part, that might be a little bit bigger of a deal. Now, I'm here to tell you right now that the Elate is a much better reel than the Ideal. It's priced the way that it is for a reason. There are much better parts in there. As I mentioned in the review for the Elate, my Elate sat in the water overnight and took no damage, and I didn't have to so much as lube it. It is a much better reel. But if the drag clicker is gonna crap out on you after a couple of years, which is reasonable because most people fish 15-20 days a year at most, I hammer on these things, so it's a little bit of a different story for me. So you're gonna have to ask yourself whether it's worth it, knowing that that flaw may be present. Again, I've got another couple of reels, including the Elate, that has not happened. So I'm not gonna say that it's a ongoing big nasty problem. I may have just been unlucky, but it has happened twice. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that, and I will put this update in both of the reviews upper area, which is pretty much all I can do without just removing those reviews altogether. With the Ideal, 25 bucks. If you're not gonna hammer on it, not a big deal. And more than likely it's not gonna happen. With the Elate, 40 bucks. If you spend another 10 and go up to the CS series, you might be a bit better off. I've said all I can say on this subject, and I'll leave it up to you guys. Tight lines. Hope to see you soon.